welcome back to another Friday Reviews video. In this one I'm going to be talking about the young and prestigious T.S Spivet. So T.S Spivet, hopefully you can see that's why I put it aside because of the sun. Yes, this movie I haven't really heard many people talking about. I've heard a few people talk about it, but not too many. When did it come out? Should have looked at it. It says in the back 2013, I'm not too sure. I guess I thought it came out last year, but I don't know. So basically, this is a movie from the director who directed Amélie, which is the French movie. I believe this is their first English-speaking movie. Amélie was in French with subtitles, and they've done other movies and stuff, but Amélie is the only one that I have seen. And I really, really enjoyed that movie. And the thing I liked most about it, I think, was probably to do with the direction of the movie. So that's kind of what really pushed me to pick up this one. Amélie is a very, very beautiful film, and it's just amazing to look at. Like, each shot is like really incredible, and it's kind of witty and funny, and it's very quirky in its own little way. And this really did have some similarities with that. It was very quirky and weird, and the kind of like not voiceover, but the kind of inner thought monologues that kind of goes on in this, it kind of reminded me of the way that Amélie is kind of the same similar way of that. But of course it's a totally different story and it's his own little thing. But if you did enjoy Amélie, I think you would enjoy this one. Or if you enjoy this one, definitely check out Amélie. But yeah, so that's, you know, kind of one thing. But secondly, it's got Helena Bonham Carter in, and everybody loves Helena Bonham Carter, and she definitely did not disappoint me in this film. She was probably my favourite character, actually. I really loved her character. So basically, it's about this family. There's two twin boys, a girl and obviously the mum and dad. And they live in Montana on this ranch in the kind of the middle of nowhere. And it's kind of more based around this boy, T.S Spivet. And he's kind of like a real genius. And he's very good at science and mechanics and, you know, just very clever in science. Really, really clever. And he kind of comes up with this invention. And then, I can't remember where it is now, in Washington DC, what's it called, the Smithsonian, I think, rings him and says, you know, you've won an award, you know, come and collect your award. And, you know, he's kind of young and they don't really realise how young he is, so he thinks, oh, you know, what am I going to do about this award? And his family are all really, really quirky. Like his sister, they're all each have their own kind of little fun little quirks about them, which I really love. But the mum, Helena Bonham Carter, was definitely my favourite. Her little quirks were great. I loved her character. But basically, anyway, continuing with the plot of the film, T.S Spivet then decides he's going to head off on his own to go and collect this award, because he kind of feels like he's a bit of a misfit in the family and doesn't really fit in with the others and all stuff like that. But many other things happen, but I don't really want to tell you them because they will spoil it. There's so many like kind of underlying layers in this movie, and there's actually kind of like a bit of a sad bit. It's kind of a little bit funny. It's very, very quirky and different. I've not really seen much like it apart from, like I say, Amélie. It kind of did have that same vibe because, like I say, it's the same director and you can tell. And I really, really like this director's style, so I definitely want to look up more films they've directed. Like, I know that there'll be the French subtitle films, but I definitely like to check them out. And if they made any other films in the future, they're definitely something that I would look into. So yeah, it's a very, very beautiful film. Like, when it starts out, it's incredible, and the cinematography is fantastic. It looks wonderful, and I really like the kind of little details you get to see, and it's great. If you kind of like beautiful looking films, this is definitely one. And like I said, it's got a little bit of an interesting storyline. It kind of sounds a bit basic from what I've just told you, but it's definitely so much more weird and quirky and kind of sad and all things that I've explained, but I just don't want to give too much away. So I was really, really enjoying this, and I was going to give it 4.5 stars, but then something happened in the last half an hour of the film. Oh no, probably not. The last 20 minutes of the film. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. The last 20 minutes of the film, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, for me personally, it didn't kind of feel in the vibe of the film, but it didn't ruin it or anything. It wasn't one of them terrible things. And then the last, like, you know, the last 5-7 minutes, the ending of the film ended perfectly and beautifully, and I loved the ending. So it was just like this very small section towards the end that I just kind of didn't really like. It kind of threw me off from the movie. But that's just me personally, and I give the movie 4 stars, so I did lose a little bit because of that. But like I say, it's a very, very short bit in the film. I don't think it should really, it probably won't maybe impact some people, but for me personally, it's kind of like, okay, this bit's a little bit, I don't know, you have to watch the movie to discuss it to know what I mean. But there was a little bit at the end, so that's kind of why I gave it 4, because I feel like I really did enjoy it and I think it's great. So maybe 4 seems like, I don't know, 4's still a really good rating anyway. But yes, so this movie, definitely check it out if you haven't already, and I haven't, like I say, heard too many people talking about it, so it seems like quite an underrated movie really. So if you're kind of interested in it, definitely check out the trailer, because I feel like, I watched a bit of the trailer. I didn't think I've watched the whole thing, and I don't think it gave too much away. But me personally, when I watch a trailer, I've said this in another video, I sometimes, if I just want to get a little bit of a feel for the movie, I just kind of watch a snippet of the trailer, like just the beginning, to get a bit of a feel. So if you kind of want to know a bit of what it's about, but you don't want to know too much, maybe just watch a snippet of the trailer, because I did watch a little bit before I watched the movie, and it kind of just made me go like, yes, I want to watch that movie. Or if you have seen Amelie and you enjoyed it and kind of want something, it's not really similar, but I feel like you'll know, it's kind of in its same style, you'll understand, then definitely check out this one. Or if you just want something a little bit quirky and it's kind of a different kind of film, I think you'd enjoy it, yeah. So hopefully that explanation was good. It's a very hard film, I think, to review and explain, because it's just kind of so different, and there's quite a few layers to it, that I can't really get into without ruining it. But also, one thing to mention is the editing on this movie is one of them that you think is so great, because it adds little, like, you know, because he's always doing his little drawings and writing his notebook and stuff, adds these little drawings to the screen and all cool stuff like that, and little graphs, and it's great. The editing in it is fantastic, adds little bits to it. I love when films do that. So yeah, it's just a beautiful looking film, and I really enjoyed it. So definitely check it out if you haven't heard of it. Leave me in the comment down below if you have heard of it, or if you have seen it, and what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? What did you think? Yeah, until then guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this review. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you then. Goodbye!